Have you ever noticed that some people seem to attract manipulators wherever they go, while others are quietly left alone? It's tempting to think it's because they're stronger, more intimidating, or naturally confident. But here's the truth. Manipulators rarely choose their targets based on physical strength. They choose them based on emotional predictability. The moment someone realizes they can control your reactions, influence your decisions, or make you question yourself, they've already gained an advantage. But what if the very habits that protected the greatest Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago could still make you nearly impossible to manipulate today? Most people spend their lives trying to become more persuasive. The Stoics focused on becoming impossible to control, and that changes everything. Stay until the end, because the fifth habit is perhaps the most misunderstood lesson in Stoicism, and once you truly understand it, you'll begin to see manipulation attempts almost before they happen. Throughout history, people have searched for ways to gain power over others. Some use guilt, some use fear, others use praise, criticism, emotional pressure, or subtle psychological games. Technology has changed, human nature has not. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, yet he constantly reminded himself that no one could truly disturb him without his own permission. Modern psychology reaches a remarkably similar conclusion. Researchers studying emotional regulation consistently find that people who react impulsively are easier to influence because their behavior becomes predictable. Manipulators don't need to know everything about you. They only need to know which emotional button to press. The Stoics understood something remarkable. If you remove the buttons, the manipulation stops working. Let's begin with the first habit. Habit 1. Master the pause. Have you ever regretted responding immediately? Maybe it was an angry text, a disrespectful comment, a guilt-filled phone call, or someone intentionally trying to provoke you. Most people believe strength means responding quickly. The Stoics believed strength meant responding deliberately. Epictetus taught that events themselves don't disturb us. Our judgments about them do. Think about it. Every manipulator depends on speed. They want you emotional before you're rational. They want you reacting instead of thinking. Neuroscience supports this idea. When emotions become highly activated, the brain's emotional centers can temporarily overpower the areas responsible for careful reasoning. That's exactly when people make decisions they later regret. Imagine responding differently. Instead of defending yourself, you simply pause. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe even longer. Suddenly, the emotional momentum disappears. The manipulator loses control of the conversation because they're no longer controlling your emotional state. The practical lesson is simple. Before responding to anything emotionally charged, create a deliberate pause. Your silence is often stronger than your first reaction. Habit 2. Stop needing everyone's approval. Here's a difficult question. How many times have you said yes simply because you didn't want someone to think badly of you? Most people never realize that the desire to be liked is one of the easiest emotions to exploit. Manipulators understand this instinct extremely well. They know guilt works. They know shame works. They know rejection feels uncomfortable. Seneca warned that the person who constantly seeks approval becomes a servant to public opinion. At first, this seems counterintuitive. Isn't kindness a good thing? Of course, but kindness without boundaries becomes permission for others to take advantage of you. Behavioral psychology calls this external validation. Your emotional state becomes dependent on how other people respond. That creates vulnerability. The Stoics replaced external validation with internal character. Instead of asking, "Do they approve of me?" they asked, "Did I act according to my values?" Notice the difference. One gives away power, the other keeps it. Practical application? The next time someone pressures you with guilt, ask yourself one question. Am I making this decision because it's right, or because I'm afraid they'll be disappointed? That single question changes everything. Habit 3. Say less than necessary. Here's something fascinating. Manipulators gather information long before they use it. Every complaint, every insecurity, every frustration, every emotional confession. Eventually, those details become leverage. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to observe more than we speak. Most people think talking creates influence. Often, listening creates far more. Consider this. The quieter person usually learns everyone's intentions first. The loudest person usually reveals their own. This doesn't mean becoming cold or secretive. It means becoming intentional. Social intelligence isn't saying the perfect thing. It's knowing when nothing needs to be said. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence makes some people? Many begin revealing information simply to fill the space. The Stoics understood that silence often invites truth. Practical habit: the next time someone tries pulling you into gossip, arguments, or emotional drama, slow down. Listen. Observe. Speak only after you've understood what's actually happening. Your words become more valuable because they become more deliberate. Habit 4. Become emotionally detached without becoming emotionally cold. This is where things become interesting. Many people confuse detachment with indifference. The Stoics meant something entirely different. Detachment means refusing to let someone else's emotional chaos become your own. Imagine someone insults you. Most people immediately defend themselves. Why? Because the ego feels attacked. But here's the deeper reason. Manipulators often provoke emotional reactions simply to measure how much control they have. If they can upset you, they can guide you. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that another person's actions reflected their character, not his. That's emotional freedom. Modern emotional intelligence teaches something similar. You can acknowledge emotions without becoming controlled by them. The practical habit is surprisingly simple. When someone becomes emotionally aggressive, lower your voice, slow your breathing, maintain relaxed body language, refuse to match their emotional intensity. Eventually, something remarkable happens. They realize the usual tactics aren't working. Without emotional fuel, conflict begins to die. Habit 5. Build a life that cannot be easily taken from you. This may be the most powerful Stoic habit of all. Every manipulation depends on attachment. Fear of losing approval, fear of losing status, fear of losing comfort, fear of losing relationships, fear of losing control. Epictetus believed that freedom begins the moment you stop depending on things outside your control for your peace of mind. Think about that. If someone can threaten something you emotionally depend on, they possess leverage. But if your confidence comes from discipline, your peace comes from character, your identity comes from your principles, what exactly can they take? This doesn't mean becoming isolated. It means becoming internally secure. History gives us countless examples. Leaders who remained calm under extraordinary pressure rarely did so because circumstances were easy. They had already trained themselves not to place their happiness in circumstances. That's why manipulation failed. Their emotional foundation existed within themselves. The practical lesson? Spend more time building yourself than protecting your image. Develop discipline. Strengthen your routines. Keep promises to yourself. Learn to enjoy solitude. Become comfortable with temporary discomfort. Every one of these habits quietly removes another handle someone might use to control you. The real lesson is this. Manipulators don't fear loud people. They don't fear angry people. They don't even fear powerful people. They fear emotionally independent people. The person who cannot be rushed, cannot be guilted, cannot be flattered, cannot be intimidated, cannot be baited into emotional reactions. That person becomes extraordinarily difficult to manipulate. Marcus Aurelius once reflected that the greatest victory is mastery over yourself, not over your enemies. Not over society, over your own mind. Because once you govern your reactions, very few people can govern your life. So here's today's challenge. Choose just one of these 5 habits. Practice it intentionally over the next 7 days. Pause before reacting, protect your boundaries, speak less, detach from unnecessary emotional battles, or strengthen your inner foundation. Pay close attention to how people respond differently when they realize they can no longer predict your emotions. You may discover that the greatest form of power was never controlling other people. It was becoming impossible for other people to control you. If you enjoy exploring timeless Stoic wisdom, psychology, emotional intelligence, and practical self-mastery, subscribe and join us for future videos that help you build a calmer mind, stronger character, and a life guided by wisdom rather than emotion.